Oh my god, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's here! All right, here we go for the first look. Ooh. That is the blue and orange. And over here, we have the red, white, and blue. Leave a comment down below which colorway is your favorite. This one's got orange wheels. This one's got black wheels, red shocks, orange shocks. These things look amazing. So I'm going to take these things out of the box. I am going to put the wings on them. Let's get right into that B-roll. Alright, so here it is in all its glory, the AM-X12. In this video, I'm just going to go over what you get in the box. We're going to do some 2S and 3S speed runs, and I'm going to do a little bit of carpet racing completely stock. If you want to check out how to make this thing a proper carpet racer, we're going to do that over on the RC Driver channel. So make sure you give both social media platforms a like and a follow, because we're going to turn one of these cars into a proper carpet racer, and Dean from RC Driver is going to show us how. So first things first, it does come in this really nice carrying case. The one gripe that I've had about this carrying case so far is that once you put the wing on, the remote doesn't really fit in here. So I think this is probably the same carrying case from the 14 scale special edition one that they came out with earlier this year, but I think they should have made this a little bit longer so you could put the remote in here and not have to carry it separately. But other than that, this is a great little package to keep everything together and not lose anything. So we'll take the Buggy out and I'll just show you a quick look at it. You already saw the B-roll, but this thing looks amazing with all the carbon fiber. And I guess while we're talking about the remote, let's go over it really quick. This is a completely new design for the remote for our RLAARLO. It does take 4 AA batteries on the bottom that you will need to provide yourself. We have a ton of functions on here. This is the on-off switch right up top, along with steering trim and steering dual rate, throttle trim and throttle dual rate. These are the reverse switches for 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you obviously have buttons up here too for channel 3 and channel 4, I guess if you wanted to put lights or something like that on it. But really cool remote. It's a little big for one-handed driving, but very cool style remote, and definitely different than all the other cars, so you don't mess them up and confuse them. Also in the package here, you're going to get a full owner's manual with a ton of different instructions. Again, this is completely new for the 12 scale. It shows all the different parts in here, all the different channels on the receiver and how to bind it in case it becomes unbound. All your different components, ESC, it shows everything in here. It's got great pictures and stuff like that, exploded diagrams in case you're missing parts, along with part names and numbers. So a really good user's manual. What I've seen so far is that a lot of the parts from the 14 scale are interchangeable with this car, so that's really good in case you have one already. Again, on top here, you have a nice little pocket as well as a zipper pocket here, so you can put all your stuff in there and not have to worry about it getting lost. Just like the 14th scale, you get a full set of arms as well as pins and some extra nuts and stuff like that all in there, which is great. You do get a set of droop screws, which are important to make this car good for carpet racing. Right out of the box, it's a little high off the ground for carpet racing, which might be great for dirt. The safety front bumper, in case you want to give this thing to little kids, you can put this front bumper on. I wouldn't recommend putting this on or even getting this car for little kids. This is more intended for carpet racing or racing, maybe even speed runs, but this isn't just your regular budget basher. This thing has a lot of tech that they re-engineered, the 14 scale buggy, so not really meant for kids. I would say this is like a 14 and up sort of car. These are all the extra accessories that comes with it. You can see the list here. I'll zoom in on it so you guys can take a look. And another cool thing that the 14 scale didn't have was some stickers. So you get a couple of different stickers here with some different sayings on them. Pretty cool. Show your support for RLAARLO and the brand. Obviously, you have a USB charger in here for the 2S Lipo that it comes with. Catalog here. I'm guessing most of you are not new to RLAARLO. They have been pushing really hard this year to get the word out about all of their cars. They have the 14 scale mini Craytons. They have some 18 scale cars for littler, smaller kids. And obviously all of the buggies that they have here now, the AM-X, looks like they're calling this one the AM-X-B and the AM-X-T, as well as the purple brushless 14 scale and the limited edition 14 scale, and then all of the brushed ones down below. A few other parts and bits and bobs. We got some plastic hexes. I believe the ones that are in the car already are aluminum 12mm hexes and some extra wheel nuts. So always good to have extras of those. Obviously a wheel wrench for the wheels, some extra body clips. Another great addition to this kit is an aluminum front shock tower. As you saw in the B-roll, the front and rear shock towers of this 12 scale buggy are carbon fiber, which is a great lightweight component for this car. But if you're gonna be bashing this thing, I would put on this aluminum shock tower. It is pretty beefy. I would say this is probably a 5mm aluminum shock tower, but really good that they give you that right out of the box. And they're also going to put in the packages is an additional pinion gear. Now, I believe what they told me was that the pre-production model is going out to some of us YouTubers. It's going to be included with the 27 tooth pinion already installed, and then in the box you're going to get a 17 tooth pinion that might be reversed for some of the production models. I think they're going to have the 17 tooth in the car already, and then the 27 tooth will be separate. Obviously 27 tooth is more for speed runs and stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend carpet racing with the 27 tooth unless you're going to put a fan or something like that on the motor, but it's great that they include another pinion. Again, aluminum. Spur gear on this one is aluminum. You can hear it when it's running. It does sound like it's metal on metal. So again, they put a lot of time and effort into this redesign, and it really shows. So let's take the body off and I'll show you some of the other key components. Alright, so now that we got all the accessories out of the way, let's do a quick comparison of the differences between the new 12 scale and the old 14 scale, as well as taking a quick look at what just came in the mail for me from WLToys. It is their brand new 12 scale buggy. Now, I am going to do a full review on this car as well, so stay tuned for that, but just wanted to show it side by side with these other cars since it just came in the mail and some of you might be curious. So right away, the body style on the new 12 scale is exactly the same as the 14th, but just a little bit stretched out. It's got that ARRMA Typhon look to it, but the brushless one for the 14 scale comes in purple as well as the black and silver. They also have clear bodies for this. I'm hoping they come out with some clear bodies for sale on Amazon. Throw some 12 scale clear bodies out there for people to design their own color scheme. So between the two here, you can see there's a lot of similarities, but the big differences on the 12 scale, they've redesigned the front and rear CBDs and dog bones. These have the new, I believe they're carbon plated or something like that. It's a new material. It's much thicker and beefier, and you can get those on their website for the other cars, the smaller version. It will fit the same, so all of the components like arms and drive shafts and steering linkages, all that stuff will fit in the 14 scale, besides like obviously the center drive shaft and the slipper assembly that is now new in this car. They also completely redid the electronics in this car with a different motor as well as a new ESC. This is a standalone 45 amp ESC that can handle 2S and 3S lipos and its own standalone receiver, which goes to the brand new remote, which is really good. We do have a metal geared 3-wire servo, so that is a great hobby grade upgrade on this. I had it in here, but again, this separate ESC and receiver is a great upgrade. You can swap this out if you need to down the road, but really good design. Obviously the shock towers and all of that are the same. The steering hubs and all those components in here will swap back and forth, so if you got extras lying around for the 14 scale, feel free to throw it on the 12 scale. It shouldn't hurt anything. It has the same differentials, metal gear differential, and the big upgrade on this is that slipper assembly. Now I'll throw in some animation from the RLAARLO website, but this is completely redesigned in here. It is more suited for racing, so you're not putting a lot of stress on the gears and the motor. That slipper assembly is a great upgrade to a racing buggy like this. It is a more rear mounted motor design, which isn't as desirable for racing, but we're gonna dial this thing in for carpet racing in future videos, so again, stay tuned for that. They went with a new design on the tires as well. You can see here the old ones had this spoke style rim with some more off-road style tread on it. They still have a staggered setup with the rear a little bit wider than the front, but it's got this knobbier tread on it, which should be good for carpet racing. We might swap those out when we get this thing more suited, but we're gonna try it as is, completely stock. Again, we have a completely new chassis, although it is carbon fiber like the old brushless version. It is longer, and it looks really good, nice and lightweight. And if we look over here at the new WLToys, you can see a lot of the components are similar. I think even the steering linkages and stuff like that are going to transfer back and forth. The RLAARLO has a carbon fiber steering link here. We're definitely going to watch that in future videos. I'm not sure how the carbon fiber is going to stand up, if it's going to stretch and develop some slop compared to an aluminum one. But again, just something to note, this is aluminum compared to the WLToys one. Obviously, this thing is more set up for dirt bashing and just bashing in general. All the arms and stuff like that, steering components, will swap back and forth between the two versions. But again, the front CVDs and the rear dog bones in the WLToys, it looks like they haven't changed any of that since the last version of the 12 scale or any of the other buggies that they've come out with. They are very thin and definitely a flimsy metal material, so look out for these to bend on this new version. It looks like they haven't put much thought into upgrading those. Looks like they redesigned the battery case. I'm guessing it's the same battery with just a new cover on it, but then again, they're trying to keep up. I think they're trying to confuse a few people with what 12 scale to buy, but again, if you're going to race, check out these RLAARLOs for 150 bucks still right now on their website. This will go back up to 250 bucks, so for that price, I don't think you can beat this. Alright, so next to the 12B1 from LC Racing, you can see there's a lot of similarities between these two, but the main difference is rear motor design versus middle motor design, and ironically enough, the RLAARLO with all of the carbon fiber is 2 grams heavier. Now that could be attributed to the different wheels that we have on this, probably this plastic wing up up in the back. It is interesting though that even with this aluminum chassis on the LC Racing, this does weigh a little bit more, but I think both are going to be really good options for racing. We're going to try this out in future videos, as I keep saying, so make sure you like and subscribe because that video will be coming up. But just a quick look here, if you're looking for aluminum upgrades for the RLAARLO, you might be able to swap some off for WLToys down the road. If I haven't mentioned already, some other big upgrades on the 12 scale is this has included sway bars front and rear, which is great for stability. Again, I have the droop screws in this already, so you can see it is raised up quite a bit. The motor mount on this is adjustable, so you can slide this back and forth to put in that smaller pinion, or maybe even a bigger pinion if you can get one to fit. And another big upgrade on this compared to the 14 scale from RLAARLO, they changed all of the hardware out on this car to 1.5 and 2 millimeter hex screws, so no more Phillips head screws on here. This is all hobby grade equipment. So if you still stuck around, let's go take this thing outside. I'll show you how it handles. I'll show you the top speed on the 27 tooth pinion, 2S and 3S, and then I'll show you some carpet racing with this thing. Straight to it. We got the stock 2S battery in there with the 27 tooth pinion. Get this thing straightened out. Range seems pretty good here, and a nice long straight. A little squirrely with those tires on asphalt. Decent speed though, right out of the box. Very smooth on the throttle. Put some Insta360 footage on there, Go2 footage. That's what I use for all my onboard footage here. This thing's quick. Brakes work good. Let's check it out. All right, so bone stock 2-cell battery. We got 42 miles an hour. That is pretty dang good. Let's throw a 3-cell in there because this thing can handle 3-cell. And the 3-cell that I'm using is like an older Fleurion battery that fits in there nicely. Probably won't be able to find any on Amazon. A little wheelie off that bump. Wow, this thing is quick. Again, I wouldn't be bashing this thing on 3 cells. Nice little wheelie off this bump here. This thing is quick. Wow. Nice and straight. Full throttle the whole way. Oh, hanging in there. All right, so 3-cell speed right out of the box. 58 miles an hour, so almost 60 right out of the box with a 3-cell battery. That is pretty good. Again, I wouldn't race it on 3-cell and I wouldn't bash it on 3-cell, but that is a great starting point if you guys want to get a car that goes 60 miles an hour right out of the box. That is sweet. So next I'm going to send you guys over to RC Madness in Enfield, Connecticut, where I ran this thing on the track a little bit, completely bone stock with the 2-cell battery. All I did was put some droop screws in it to lower it down, and I think it handled pretty well, so enjoy that footage now.
All right, just need Mr. Wonderful, Landon, Jonathan, Caroline, Fast Weight and Chain to check in the back.